welcome back to Tournament Center here on day 2 at Pro Tour San Juan. I've got 2 very special guests. It's Dan Alpers and Amy Anderson. Now, this couple here are the winners of the My Magic competition. So thanks very much for joining us. Dan, first question, how did you get involved in Magic?
A friend of mine sold me on my first revised deck back in the summer of 1995, and I actually didn't play at first. Summer of '94 I bought my first revised deck. And I actually didn't play it first because that was my first year of college, and nobody played down there at St. Ambrose University. So I took a year off and collected a few cards here and there, but that summer of '95, I got a job at the local comic shop, the local gaming store, and they said, if you want to work here, you need to learn how to play Magic.
Okay. Now, Amy, at this point, you've already met each other, haven't you? Because this is going back to, what, high school?
Yes, we graduated from high school together in 1994.
All right. But Magic, not really a big part of your life for most of the last 15 years.
No, up until the last 9 months, I was pretty much in the dark, knew about it, but never played, never paid any attention to it. So.
All right. So, Dan, tell us about the last 15 years. What have you been up to in terms of Magic? Are you mostly a player? I guess not, because you're pretty involved with the community.
I've really turned it into something more than just playing and tournament organizing. I've turned it into a vehicle for me and my friends to get together and work on charity events and work on mentoring each other and getting job applications and finding out how to talk to girls and things like that. So that Magic is our vehicle to get together to allow us those sorts of actions.
So in some ways, it's about more than manner lessons, it's about life lessons through Magic.
That's right.
All right. Now, of course, the way we heard about this in your great story was through My Magic, the contest run through Magic Arcana. I know you read that pretty much every day.
Just about every day.
Yep. So that was the story. And of course, you end up here. Amy, what's the experience been like of being in San Juan?
It's been interesting. We've spent some days on the beach, but yesterday was very rainy. So we spent most of the day indoors. Spent 9 hours here at the convention center yesterday, 6 hours here today, but it's been fun. We've met a lot of great people, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's all his fault. There's no doubt about that.
It is.
Now,
he doesn't say no to the 9 hours, so I'm very grateful.
Now, tell me about 2008, because round in, round out, we get Mana Flood, and we get disappointed by that. But of course, floods happen in real life, and that's what happened to you back in Cedar Rapids.
Back in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, our hometown, May of 2008 came along. It was very rainy, as it has been here the past couple days. Actually, much more rainy there than it has been here. And in the matter of, 3 days' time, our river that runs straight through the middle of downtown went from flood stage of 12 feet to 31.1 feet.
Wow.
And there were miles and miles of square miles of downtown and outlying neighborhoods.
Just ravaged, I guess, pretty
Completely
much.
ravaged.
Yeah.
There were homes that were turned into aquariums for 3 days. There are people still without their homes, still fighting to get reimbursed for their homes so that they can move on with their lives. And one of those homes was our home, the place where we play Magic.
Okay.
And so actually that Sunday after, we play in a church. They're kind enough to loan us the space twice a week.
Sure.
And every now and then I converse with the church staff. And that Sunday after the flood, I went to the satellite location that they had come up with because we couldn't go to the church.
Of course.
It was done. It was over with. It was a swamp. And I approached the pastor of the church, and he said, "So you're leaving now, huh?" And I said, "No, we're rebuilding." And we did.
Great
and
stuff.
We're back home now.
That's great to hear. Now, listen, if this has inspired you and you would like to learn more about what Dan and Amy and that great community are doing, I have a website to give you. This is ccgamers.org. And they've got a ton of really great projects going on, building the community, rebuilding the community. Well worth a look at that website. That's ccgamers.org. But to close, I want to ask you about a happier topic. It's a lot more trivial, but it's a nice memento. And we've got here on the table a playmat. Tell us some of the people who've signed the playmat for you, Dan.
Oh boy, everybody that I've encountered over the weekend. There's second place of My Magic story, Travis. He's down in the right hand, or the left hand corner. No, he's down here in the right hand corner. Yeah.
Yep. And then we can see, I can spot an LSV, Pro Tour San Juan, up in the middle. Up on the top right, we got Trick Jarrett. As we come across the top here, Sam Black from the United States, Brian Tinsman, lead designer on Rise of the Eldrazi. That's a nice one. And then that looks to me like Rich Hagon and Randy Buehler right next to each other, as we have been before. And then I'd like to finish off right down the bottom. These playmats, they're great to show that you were here. Whose signature is this, Dan?
That would be Mr. BDM.
He's so from New
front
York.
and center.
You are here from Brian David Marshall. All right, so a terrific story. What's your story of magic? My magic, the winners were Dan Alpers and Amy Anderson, guys. We hope you've had a great time, and thank you so much for all you do for the community. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Rich. I appreciate it.
Thank you.